Have you ever wondered why some mornings feel calm and productive, while others leave you rushing and tired before the day has barely begun? What if I told you that a small, thoughtful morning routine can change, not just the start of your day, but the direction of your life? Welcome to BetterSelf. This channel helps you grow mindset, habits, productivity, while you practice clear, simple English. Today we will design a perfect morning routine together. This video will give you a step-by-step guide, real stories, and practical ideas you can try right away. Listen, imagine, and pick what works for you. By the end, you will have the tools to build a morning that fits your life and moves you toward your goals. Chapter 1. Why Mornings Matter. The Hidden Power of a Strong Start. Morning is not just a time on the clock. Morning is a message we send to ourselves. It tells our brain who we are and what we value. When you begin your day with intention, you set a tone that carries into hours of focus, energy, and better choices. Think of your day like a ship. The morning is the compass and the first sail. If the compass points true and the sail catches wind, the ship moves in the intended direction. If the compass is broken or the sail left tangled, the ship drifts, and you spend the day correcting course. Many successful people talk about their mornings because a good start compounds. Benjamin Franklin famously said he would dangle a little between the sheets before asking himself what good he could do that day. Modern voices, like Hal Elrod in The Miracle Morning, describe how a set of morning habits reshaped their lives. But it's not about copying someone else's steps word for word. The deeper idea is that the earliest part of the day has disproportionate influence over how the rest of the day unfolds. If you begin with calm and clarity, you make better decisions, resist distractions, and build momentum. Why does this work? There are simple psychological reasons. In the morning, your willpower and decision-making muscles are less fatigued. You are fresh. When you set a small win early, a short exercise session, a 5-minute planning session, a quiet moment of reflection, you prime your brain for more wins. Psychologists call this the progress principle. Small progress gives you energy and focus. A tiny early victory makes the next choice easier. It's the same reason that finishing one item on your to-do list makes the list feel lighter and your brain more willing to engage. The morning also shapes your identity. When you repeat a set of morning behaviors, you begin to say, silently, I am someone who cares for my body, or I am someone who plans ahead, or I am someone who prioritizes learning. Identity drives behavior. So do not underestimate the power of a few consistent acts that reinforce who you want to be. But there is another side. For some people, mornings are a struggle. Maybe you are not a morning person, or you have a hard shift schedule. The goal is not to force yourself into a rigid mold. Instead, understand the principle. An intentional beginning matters. Then adapt it to your life and your natural rhythms. The science and the stories point to one truth. How you start the day matters. The next chapters will help you shape that start into a real routine that fits you. Now, take a moment. Imagine the best morning you can remember. Clear, steady, productive. What began that day? What made you feel like you were in control? Hold that feeling. We will use it as a guide. Over the next chapters, we will learn how to discover your rhythm, set clear priorities, create pillars for your routine, and craft small, sustainable rituals. The aim is not perfection. The aim is a morning that moves you toward the life you want. Chapter 2. Discover your natural rhythm. Work with your body, not against it. Many books tell us to wake up at 5 a.m. and run, meditate, and read for 2 hours. That sounds inspiring until you try it, and your body refuses. The truth is this. Your biology has a say in how your morning should look. We all have different chronotypes, natural patterns of energy across the day. Some people are larks. They wake early easily and shine in the morning. Others are owls. Their energy rises in the evening. The secret to a sustainable morning routine is not fighting your natural rhythm. It is learning it and then designing the routine to fit. Start with a simple experiment. For 1 week, keep a short, plain log. Write the time you go to bed, the time you wake up, and 2 notes. One about your energy level in the morning, and one about when you felt most clear-headed in the day. Do this honestly, without judgment. After a week, patterns will appear. Maybe you see that you wake easily at 6:30, but feel foggy until 8:00. Maybe you wake at 7:00 and feel sharp and creative by 7:30. These small clues tell you when to place your most important morning activities. Think of your body as a rhythm machine. If you force intense cognitive work at the moment your machine is still warming up, you will struggle. Instead, schedule gentle activities that prepare your brain for focus. For example, if you are slow to wake, begin with movement and light exposure before attempting deep work. A short walk, a few stretches by the window, and a glass of water can be powerful. The light helps reset your internal clock, and the movement increases blood flow to the brain. Real-life story. I once coached a friend who felt miserable trying to follow a strict early morning routine. She woke at 5:30, tried to run and read, and felt guilty when she could not keep up. After she tracked her rhythm for a week, she discovered she naturally woke up around 7:15 and felt most energetic between 9 a.m. and noon. We shifted her routine. She began waking at 7:00, spent 15 minutes stretching and journaling, then used 45 minutes of her most alert time for deep work after morning coffee. Her productivity and mood improved, and the guilt went away. Notice also how light and social cues matter. Sunlight in the morning helps regulate your circadian rhythm. If you can, open the curtains or step outside for a few minutes. Even a short exposure can help your body anchor to the day. And if your work requires collaboration, align your most social tasks to the times when others are online and you feel communicative. Another important idea is flexibility. Your rhythm can change with life stages, seasons, and stress. Expect shifts. Instead of rigid rules, aim for flexible blocks. For example, have a morning block for prepare body, movement, water, light, and another for prepare mind, planning, learning, done. You can move the timing of these blocks slightly depending on the day, while keeping the structure. Here's a simple practice to find your rhythm beyond the log. Pick 3 mornings where you intentionally vary your wake time by 30 to 60 minutes. On the first day, wake 60 minutes earlier than usual, and do a simple routine for 30 minutes. On the second day, wake at your normal time and follow your normal routine. On the third day, sleep in 30-60 minutes and observe how you feel. Pay attention to mood, focus, and how long it takes to feel productive. Over these tests, patterns will reveal what truly works. Finally, be kind to yourself. If you are naturally an evening person, you do not need to become a morning lark to succeed. Work with what you have. Build a morning routine that supports your life and your goals. The key is consistency, not conformity. A consistent, adapted morning will give you the confidence and momentum that rigid, forced routines cannot. Chapter 3. Clarify your purpose. What should your morning serve? A morning routine without purpose is like a map with no destination. You can follow every step and still feel lost. Before you design the steps, ask one clear question. What should my morning serve? Do you want energy? Calm? Focus for creative work? Time for exercise? A moment to connect with family? Your answer becomes the guiding star for every choice you make. Start by imagining the day you want. Close your eyes and picture the ideal version of today. Are you peaceful and productive at work? Energetic during an afternoon meeting? Present with your family in the evening? Which morning habits would most directly create that day? For instance, if you want to be mentally sharp during morning meetings, a short session of focused preparation and light movement might be ideal. If you want to feel calm and less reactive, add a brief meditation or breathing practice to center yourself. A helpful tool is the 3 non-negotiables rule. Choose 3 things your morning must include to feel successful. These should be simple, meaningful, and realistic. For example, your 3 could be 1. Drink water and get sunlight. 2. 10 minutes of movement and 3. 15 minutes of focused planning. Once you have 3 non-negotiables, build the rest of the routine around them. The beauty of this approach is that it keeps the routine flexible and focused on outcomes rather than strict timings. Let me tell you a short story. A teacher I know was constantly exhausted. Her mornings were rushed, emails while brushing her teeth, breakfast eaten in the car, and no time for herself. She decided her morning should serve presence and energy. She kept it simple: a 10-minute walk with her child, a glass of water, and 2 minutes of breathing before leaving the house. These small changes not only improved her energy but also helped her arrive at work calmer and more focused. The morning was no longer a series of tasks, but a bridge to the day she wanted. Another practical method is to write a 1-sentence morning mission statement. Keep it short, like a personal motto. For example, I start my day with calm movement and clear priorities, so I am present and effective for my work and my family. Read this sentence each morning. It acts as a North Star, reminding you why you wake and what you are trying to create. Avoid the common trap of trying to do everything. People often copy long, impressive routines from influencers and then burn out. Remember that a routine's success is measured by its fit to your life, not by how many activities you complete. Ask yourself, which single change will give me the most impact? Start there. Also, be realistic about timing. If you have a tight morning schedule with kids and work, plan for short, high-impact habits rather than long practices. A 5-minute breathing exercise, a 2-minute stretch, and a quick plan for the day can be far better than a 2-hour routine you never complete. Lastly, align your morning with your long-term goals. If you are learning a language, perhaps include 10 minutes of listening practice. If health is a priority, include a short exercise or a protein-rich breakfast. The morning is a place to plant seeds you want to grow. When your morning serves your deeper goals, it becomes a practice that sustains itself over time. Chapter 4. Core Pillars of an Effective Morning. Movement, mind, fuel, focus, and environment. A well-designed morning routine usually rests on 5 pillars. Think of each pillar like a column supporting a house. If one column is weak, the house feels unstable. If all columns are strong, the house stands firm even in wind and rain. The pillars are movement, mind, fuel, focus, and environment. Let's explore each one in practical detail, with stories and examples, so you can shape them into your own routine. Movement is the first pillar, because the body and brain are deeply connected. Movement wakes up the nervous system, improves mood, and increases blood flow to the brain. Movement can be anything gentle: light stretching, a 10-minute yoga flow, a brisk walk around the block, or a quick bodyweight circuit. It does not have to be a long workout. For many people, a short burst of movement creates the momentum necessary to avoid the snooze button and feel ready for the day. I once met a writer who was blocked on difficult days. He found that 5 minutes of jumping jacks and push-ups in the morning changed everything. His creative flow improved, and he wrote with more ease. The second pillar is mind. This includes practices that prime your brain: journaling, meditation, reading, or a focused planning session. The key is to choose a mental practice that calms and clarifies, not one that overstimulates. Meditation can be as simple as 3 to 5 minutes of mindful breathing. Journaling can be 2 pages of unfiltered thought or a few lines listing what you are grateful for. Reading can be a short poem or a helpful paragraph from a book. The important part is consistency. This pillar helps you manage stress, clarify priorities, and set the right mindset for the day. The third pillar, fuel, is literal. What you eat and drink in the morning matters. Many people skip breakfast or eat sugary foods that lead to an energy crash. Simple habits help. Start with a glass of water to rehydrate after sleep. Add protein to stabilize blood sugar, and include a healthy fat or fiber to keep you satiated. A quick example: Greek yogurt with nuts and fruit, a smoothie with protein powder and spinach, or eggs and whole grain toast. If you work in the morning, demanding creative energy, a balanced breakfast can make a noticeable difference. Fuel also includes caffeine choices. If you drink coffee, consider delaying it a bit after waking to let your natural cortisol cycle settle, or use a cup as a reward after finishing your non-negotiables. Focus is the fourth pillar. This is about how you spend your most alert hours. Decide what deserves your best attention: deep work, creative projects, or important planning. Protect this time with clear boundaries. Use simple tools like a short written plan or a timer. A powerful technique is the 2-hour deep focus window. Identify the 2 hours when you feel most alert and block them for high-impact work. During this window, remove distractions, turn off notifications, close unrelated tabs, and let colleagues know you are not available. I coached a freelancer who used this technique. He wrote 3 times more in 2 hours than he used to write in a full afternoon, because he protected his attention and removed small, energy-draining tasks. Finally, environment is the 5th pillar. Your physical space can help or hurt your morning routine. A tidy, light-filled area invites calm. A cluttered, dark corner invites procrastination. Simple changes can make a big difference. Open the curtains to let in natural light. Place your water bottle near your bed. Keep your workout clothes visible and accessible, and designate a small space for your morning journal or device-free time. The environment acts as a cue. For instance, laying out your workout clothes the night before makes movement easier in the morning. These 5 pillars are not rigid. They interact. Movement helps mind clarity. Fuel supports focus. Environment supports all of them. Start by choosing one small action for each pillar. For movement, try 2 minutes of gentle stretches. For mind, 2 minutes of breathing. For fuel, a glass of water. For focus, write down one priority. For environment, open the curtains. Over time, expand each pillar as you build confidence and habit. A real-world tip: if you only have 20 minutes, pick 1 or 2 pillars and do them well. Even a short walk plus a single planning sentence can change your day. Point is progress and alignment. When your morning routine contains these pillars in some form, you build a balanced start, one that prepares your body, your mind, and your world for a good day. Chapter 5. Rituals over routines. How to make morning habits meaningful. Routines are often seen as mechanical checklists. Rituals are actions filled with meaning. 2 people might do the same set of steps: wake up, brush teeth, drink coffee, but for one person it is a ritual. Each step connects to a value or a goal. The difference is purpose. Rituals transform mundane actions into moments of intention. They help habit become identity. Consider a simple example: making coffee. One person flips on a machine and rushes out the door. Another person, who treats their morning as a ritual, slows down. They notice the aroma, breathe deeply, and say, "This cup is for clarity." The same coffee, different experience. Rituals create emotional anchors. They signal to your brain that this moment is different from the rest of the day. That distinction matters because your brain learns through cues. When a ritual is repeated, your mind and body begin to respond automatically with focus and calm. To build rituals, start with why. Attach each habit to a meaningful reason. If movement is part of your morning, link it to something deeper. I move to show up fully for my children, or I move to keep my energy steady throughout the day. This connection gives the habit a story. Stories are powerful because they give behavior context. The next time you hesitate, the story can pull you forward. Another practical method is to anchor new rituals to existing habits. This is often called habit stacking. For example, if you already brew coffee every morning, add a 1-minute journaling session while the coffee brews. The existing habit becomes a reliable cue for the new ritual. Anchoring is effective because it piggybacks on a habit already wired into your day. Rituals also benefit from sensory details. Humans learn through sight, sound, touch, and smell. If your ritual includes familiar sensory cues, it becomes easier to recall and perform. For instance, keep a specific mug for your morning coffee, a soft light you switch on for a few minutes, a certain playlist of calm music, or a small stretch mat placed by your bed. These cues prime your brain. Story time. A friend of mine used to hate mornings until he created a very small ritual. Each morning, he opened the window, breathed deeply for 10 seconds, and wrote one sentence of gratitude on a sticky note. At first, it took 30 seconds, but over months, that tiny ritual rewired his mornings. He began to notice small joys, and his days felt brighter. He said the ritual made mornings feel like something he did for himself, a daily gift rather than a chore. Make your rituals easy to start and rich in meaning. Keep them short, 2-10 minutes. The goal is consistency, not length. A ritual should invite you, not exhaust you. And remember, rituals evolve. What works for a season might change next month. Be open to adjusting the sensory cues and the story as your life changes. When designing rituals, be mindful of the social context. If you live with family, make rituals that fit together. For example, a shared 5-minute stretch with your partner, or a family ritual of a quick morning check-in can strengthen relationships while keeping the routine doable. Finally, rituals need repetition. Repeat the small ritual daily until it feels automatic. Then you can add another short ritual on top. Over time, your morning becomes a sequence of meaningful acts that reinforce identity, someone who cares for body, mind, and purpose. That is the real power of rituals. They turn repeated actions into a life you are proud to live. Chapter 6. Start small and scale. The 1% rule and tiny habits that stick. Most people fail at morning routines because they try to change too much too quickly. They set ambitious goals, 2-hour routines, exhausting workouts, long meditation sessions, and then life interferes. The sustainable path is small, consistent improvements. Tiny changes pile up. This is the 1% rule. Focus on getting 1% better each day. Over months and years, those small gains become large improvements. Start with the principle. Break big behaviors into tiny actions. If your goal is to meditate for 20 minutes daily, begin with 2 minutes. If you want to run for 40 minutes, start with a 5-minute brisk walk. The important part is the repetition, not the quantity at first. Tiny habits are more likely to survive because they are easy to do and hard to avoid. BJ Fogg, a behavior scientist, teaches a simple formula. Tiny behavior prompt immediate celebration habit. The prompt can be an existing habit, like brushing your teeth. After brushing, you do a 1-minute breathing exercise. Immediately after, give yourself a small, positive response, a silent good job or a fist pump. The celebration creates a small burst of dopamine, and your brain links the action with reward. Here is a practical plan to scale over 30 days. Pick one pillar to change: movement, mind, or focus. Implement a tiny habit for 7 days and track it. For example, choose movement and do 2 minutes of stretching each morning for the first week. In the second week, increase it to 5 minutes. In the third week, add a simple strength move like 10 bodyweight squats. By the final week, you might have a 15-minute routine that feels natural. Scaling slowly prevents overwhelm and builds a sense of progress. Story. A woman I mentored wanted to start exercising but had a busy job and 2 small kids. She began with 1 minute of movement each morning. She kept the habit in a jar for a while. Putting a small stone in a jar each day, she completed it. The small ritual and visible progress motivated her. Within 3 months, her 1-minute habit became a 20-minute routine 3 times a week. She did not force herself. She expanded gradually based on success. An important technique is habit stacking. Attach a new tiny habit to an established routine. For example, if you always make your bed, add a 30-second breath after smoothing the sheets. The established habit acts as a reliable prompt. Over time, your new behavior becomes automatic. Also, plan for setbacks. Some mornings will be messy. The key is to make the default behavior so small that you are unlikely to skip it. On hard days, your 2-minute habit might be all you manage, and that is okay. The goal is continuity. It is better to do a small habit daily than a long habit sporadically. Measure progress in simple ways. Use a calendar and mark each completed day with a color. Seeing a chain of marks has a motivating psychological effect called the don't break the chain principle. Or keep a short journal noting how the tiny habit affected your mood or energy. Small evidence of progress builds confidence. Finally, celebrate milestones. When you complete a week, a month, or reach a goal, acknowledge it. Celebration reinforces the habit loop and makes the behavior more desirable. Remember, habits are built not by willpower alone, but by designing the right prompts, making the action easy, and giving yourself a small, immediate reward. Chapter 7. Prepare the night before. The quiet work that makes mornings simple. A great morning often begins the night before. The choices you make at bedtime influence how easy it is to wake, how clear your mind is in the morning, and how quickly you can begin your routine. Preparing the night before reduces friction, decision fatigue, and stress. Think of it as paying a small price tonight to earn a smooth, productive morning. Start with sleep hygiene. Prioritize a consistent bedtime that gives you enough sleep to feel rested. Avoid screens in the last 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The blue light from phones and computers can delay sleep and make mornings harder. Instead, choose calming activities, reading a book, doing light stretches, or listening to soft music. If you use your phone as an alarm, place it across the room so you must get up to turn it off. This simple move reduces snoozing and increases the chance you start your day on time. Prepare practical items. Lay out workout clothes, fill a water bottle, and set your coffee maker if you use one. Place your journal pen or book where you will see it in the morning. Small visual cues make action easier. When the path to your morning habit is clear, you are far more likely to follow through. Another key practice is an evening planning session. Spend 5 minutes reviewing the day and identifying the top priority for tomorrow. Write it down in one sentence. This reduces morning anxiety because your brain already knows the most important thing to focus on. It also saves time you would have spent debating tasks in the morning. A short example. A teacher I know used to wake up worrying about lesson plans. She started spending 5 minutes at night writing her top 3 priorities for the next day and putting her lesson folder by the door. The result was fewer anxious thoughts in the morning and a calmer start. She said it felt like she had handed the day to her future self. Prepare your environment to support morning activities. If you plan to exercise, create a small space with a mat and visible shoes. If you plan to meditate, set a soft light and a cushion where you will sit. If you want to read, keep a book on the nightstand. The idea is to reduce resistance. The fewer decisions to make in the morning, the more likely you are to act. Consider also prepping your breakfast. Overnight oats, chopped fruit, or a pre-measured smoothie bag can remove the morning scramble. When your first act is nourishing your body without stress, your energy stabilizes quickly. A little organization goes a long way. Finally, respect wind-down rituals. The quality of sleep affects whether you wake refreshed. Avoid heavy meals and intense workouts too close to bedtime. Practice relaxation techniques, like deep breathing or a short gratitude note. A calm night often yields a calm morning. By preparing the night before, you shift the effort to a time when you are less rushed. This creates a morning that feels easier and more inviting. The small, quiet actions of the evening earn you a morning with momentum. Chapter 8. Troubleshooting common obstacles. What to do when mornings go wrong. Even the best routine faces resistance. Some mornings you will fail to wake on time, You'll feel low energy, or life will throw unexpected events, kids, late work, travel. Troubleshooting is part of the process. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be resilient and adaptable. First obstacle, the snooze button. Hitting snooze creates a pattern of fragmented sleep and guilt. One effective strategy is to place your alarm across the room. This forces you to stand to turn it off. Once you are upright, do a tiny ritual, a 5-second stretch, a glass of water, or a short breathing exercise to prevent you from crawling back under the covers. Another approach is to commit to 2 minutes of movement upon waking. Make it so easy you cannot refuse. These small steps reduce the temptation to snooze. Second obstacle, rushed mornings with little time. Design a 2-tier routine. Have a short, high-impact version for busy days, and a longer, nourishing version for calmer days. The short version can be as small as 1 minute of breathing, 1 minute of stretching, and 1 sentence of planning. A 2-minute routine done consistently beats a 2-hour routine done once a week. The 2-tier approach removes pressure and keeps you moving forward even when life gets busy. Third obstacle, mornings when you feel tired or burned out. Respect your body. If you are genuinely exhausted, don't force an intense routine. Swap the heavy activity for gentle actions, slow walking, stretching, a warm drink, and a short check-in with yourself. Use the day to practice recovery rather than productivity. This prevents burnout and preserves consistency in the long run. Fourth obstacle, weekends and travel. Many people break their routine on weekends and then struggle to restart on Monday. Instead of abandoning the practice, design a flexible routine that works across contexts. For travel, pack a compact ritual kit, a resistance band, a small notebook, and a pre-made playlist or guided meditation download. Keep the core rituals portable. On weekends, scale back to a pleasurable routine that still includes at least one non-negotiable, like sunlight or a short walk. Fifth obstacle, lack of motivation. Motivation waxes and wanes. Instead of relying on willpower, build systems. Create visible cues, prepare the night before, and use accountability. Join a small group, partner with a friend, or record your progress in a simple tracker. Social connection and visible progress keep motivation alive. Sixth obstacle, unrealistic expectations. People compare their mornings to polished social media clips and feel inadequate. Remember that those images hide the reality of daily life. Your routine is personal. Keep it realistic and aligned with your values. If you must be somewhere at 7 a.m., plan a short morning that gives you energy, not a long ritual that causes stress. Finally, when things go wrong, respond with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask, what went wrong? Was I overambitious? Did I not prepare the night before? Did I need more sleep? Use the answer to adjust. Small changes often fix big problems. Troubleshooting is a skill. Build it by experimenting and learning from mistakes. Keep the routine flexible, have a short version ready, and practice self-compassion. A resilient morning routine weathers life's ups and downs and still moves you forward. Chapter 9. Measure what matters. How to track progress without becoming obsessive. Tracking your morning routine can be motivating, but measurement must be simple and gentle. The purpose of tracking is to create feedback, not to produce anxiety. Choose a few useful signals and watch them over time. The best measures are linked to how you feel and what you want to achieve. Start with consistency. A simple calendar or habit tracker is effective. Mark each day you complete your core non-negotiables. The visual chain of marks is encouraging and gives you data about patterns, which days you miss, seasonal dips, or success streaks. Keep it simple. A single color for success and an empty square for a missed day. The visual record tells a story without a lot of effort. Measure energy and mood. At the end of each morning for 1 week, write a single word about how you felt: clear, tired, rushed, or calm. Over a month, These single-word notes show trends. You may notice that longer sleep correlates with clearer mornings, or that certain rituals produce calmer afternoons. This qualitative tracking can be even more valuable than counting completed tasks. Measure progress toward goals. If your morning routine aims to support a specific goal, writing more, learning a language, exercising, track the small outputs. For writing, track words on the page. For language, track minutes of practice or small achievements like learning 5 new words. These micrometrics show momentum and help you adjust the routine if needed. Avoid measuring too much. Too many metrics create friction and anxiety. Remember the principle of simplicity. Choose one consistency measure, a habit tracker, and one outcome measure, energy rating or output. If you are a numbers person, limit yourself to a single spreadsheet or app. If you prefer paper, keep a small notebook. Weekly review is powerful. Set aside 5 to 15 minutes each week to look back. Notice where you were consistent and where you struggled. Celebrate a small win and pick one small change to test next week. This rhythm of review keeps the routine alive and adaptive. Story. A creative I know tracked his morning routine with a simple app. He logged whether he completed his 3 non-negotiables and rated his focus from 1 to 5. After a month, he realized his focus ratings were lowest on heavy email days. He decided to move email until after his deep work block. The small data point led to a simple schedule change that improved his productivity noticeably. Finally, use measurement to guide kindness, not judgment. If you miss days, ask what you learned. Tracking should be an ally that gives you gentle insight, not a strict judge that punishes you. When used with compassion, measurement helps you refine your routine and grow steadily. A morning routine is not a one-time project. It is a living system that needs attention, kindness, and occasional redesign. The goal is sustainability, a routine that supports your life through seasons of growth, change, and travel. To sustain a routine, treat it like a garden. Water it regularly, remove weeds, and change plants with the seasons. First, practice patience. Habits take time. Expect small progress and occasional setbacks. Celebrate the fact that you are doing the work. The long-term benefit of a routine is the gradual shift in identity, seeing yourself as someone who shows up. That identity changes how you make future choices. Second, periodically review and evolve. Every 3 months, spend a short session asking, is this routine still serving me? If not, change it. Life evolves, work shifts, family responsibilities change, energy rhythms move. Your routine should change too. Keep the core pillars, but adjust the specifics. Third, add variety to prevent boredom. Routines can become stale. If your morning feels robotic, introduce a change, a new walking route, a different playlist, a fresh journal prompt, or an occasional morning field trip to a cafe or park. Small changes re-energize the practice without breaking its structure. Fourth, invite community. Sharing your morning goals with a friend or a small group adds accountability and joy. Try a weekly check-in where you exchange one sentence about how your routine went. Community turns small, private acts into shared growth. Fifth, avoid perfectionism. The aim is progress, not purity. If you miss a day, simply restart. The most resilient habit is the one you can return to without guilt. Cultivate a gentle inner voice that says, "Today I will try again," rather than a harsh critic that says, "You failed." Sixth, connect the routine to big picture goals. When your morning links to something meaningful, health, family, learning, you will invest more effort. Revisit your mission statement occasionally. If the original purpose no longer fits, update it. A clear purpose keeps motivation rooted in real value. A final story. A man who had a strong morning routine for years found himself burned out after a major life change. Instead of forcing the old schedule, he reimagined his mornings with shorter rituals, and more flexibility. He kept the 3 core non-negotiables, but changed their order and timing. The result was a renewed sense of ownership and a routine that matched his new life. Sustaining and evolving your morning routine is an act of self-care. It shows you value how you begin each day. As you grow, your routine grows with you, reflecting the life you are building. We have covered why mornings matter, how to discover your rhythm, and how to clarify the purpose of your morning. We explored the 5 pillars: movement, mind, fuel, focus, and environment, and learned how rituals make habits meaningful. We practiced starting small and scaling, preparing the night before, troubleshooting common obstacles, measuring what matters, and finally how to sustain and evolve your routine over time. Designing a perfect morning routine is not about copying a list. It is about understanding yourself, choosing small actions that support your values, and repeating them with kindness. Begin with tiny steps, be consistent, and let the routine reflect the life you want to create. Now, for one simple beginning, choose 3 non-negotiables. Write them on a sticky note. Put the note where you will see it in the morning. Start tomorrow. Keep it small, but keep it kind. If you found this helpful, subscribe to BetterSelf for more simple English lessons that grow both your language and your life. Each week we share clear ideas, practical tips, and quiet encouragement to help you become 1% better. Thank you for listening. May your next morning be calm, clear, and full of purpose.